Apologies.
Gareth Davies.
Yay. Thank you very much. I'm always prepared to speak. People across Wales want to see our economy firing on all cylinders, but currently the engine isn't turning over. After 26 years of Labour, propped up by their Plaid Cymru sidekicks, Wales is stagnating. We have the lowest employment rate, the lowest wages and the highest economic inactivity in Great Britain. Families and businesses in North Wales feel this failure every single day. And yet, what does the Welsh Government offer? Higher business rates, punitive taxes, and policies that drive investment away rather than bringing it in. The tourist tax, perhaps, is the clearest example of Labour and Plaid's anti-business agenda. This Welsh Labour Government is out of ideas, and Plaid Cymru are no better, with a plan for the economy that involves a wealth tax on what little wealth is created in Wales. And of course, more demands for even greater funding from Westminster. That's not a sensible economic plan. The most important sector to North Wales, Deputy Llywydd, is the tourism sector, which is already struggling and is now being hammered through the tourism tax, with the knock-on effect to hospitality being enormous. We are already seeing more than one pub closing every day in Wales, and we can expect this to rise further. In North Wales, tourism sustains tens of thousands of jobs. It brings in billions of pounds, supporting pubs, shops, restaurants and small suppliers in every corner of the region. Yet Labour has forced through a new levy of £1.30 per person per night, with councils free to hike it even higher. Their own figures predict up to £576 million of economic damage over the next decade and hundreds of job losses each year. Deputy Llywydd, you don't need to be an economist to see the impact this will have. Families already counting the pennies will be put off visiting, businesses will suffer, and the people of North Wales will pay the price. And at a time when our economy is already fragile, Labour is determined to hammer one of our most successful sectors, punishing the very businesses that keep rural and coastal Wales alive. The Welsh Conservatives, by comparison, have and are calling for changes that will have a meaningful impact on the economy and thus people's lives. There'll be no wealth for progressive politicians to redistribute if it's aggressively taxed before it's even created. And now Rachel Reeves is refusing to rule out VAT rises, which means people are expecting more pain to come. The Labour Party's ideological attack on the landed population, which began in the 90s by mounting an attack on hereditary peers, has continued with suffocating farming through regulation and now culminating in an inheritance tax which will affect up to 70,000 farms and a huge hit to the Welsh economy. But the Welsh public are well aware that the Welsh Labour government puts ideology before economic sense, which they've seen with the wildly unpopular default 20 miles per hour policy, which is due to cost the Welsh economy £8.9 billion. Of course, Mark, yes, thank you.
Before the Labour Welsh Government brought in the default 20 mile an hour limit, supported by Plaid Cymru, of course, I warned that switching 30 limits to 20 limits would transfer the share of road casualties from one to the other, whilst also displacing drivers and therefore road casualties onto the wider road network. The data for the first 6 months after this was introduced showed that overall numbers of people killed or seriously injured on our roads was up 10%, and the latest police recorded road casualties for January to March this year, published in August, showed that road casualties are 6% higher in the same quarter of 2024. Do you share my concern that they ignored my warnings?
Absolutely, Mark, and that's a fantastic stat you've quoted there, and it's something that's very eye-opening. I'm sure the people of Wales will want to know those statistics before heading into the elections next year. And if we're serious about saving lives, we need to invest that money into the health service and invest in our frontline staff, more doctors, nurses, and not more politicians. We are calling for the toxic tourist tax to be scrapped before it has a chance to wreak havoc on our communities. We would abolish business rates for small businesses, giving a vital lifeline to the micro and family businesses that make up over 99% of Welsh enterprises. And we would cut the basic rate of income tax by 1p, putting £450 back into the pockets of the average Welsh family, as Sam has already mentioned, money that could choose to spend supporting local businesses and North Wales beyond. Wales doesn't need more barriers, more tax and more bureaucracy. It needs government to get off their back, allowing them to thrive. Yes, Kevin.
It's not just been watching the Conservatives deliver some pretense about understanding the economy. And the rest of us are here aghast at the hypocrisy. I mean, don't you feel the same sense of embarrassment that the rest of us feel when we look at you, knowing that Liz Truss trashed the economy and the effect that that had on people across Wales and the United Kingdom? Do you feel now, after all of that, that you have lost all confidence as a party, as the guardians of the economy? That reputation has been trashed. Do you agree with me?
No, I don't. Surprise, surprise. I'm sorry, Kevin. The hypocrisy is felt on these benches to the Plaid benches in return, really. You've propped up Labour here for 26 years. You've supported governments. When Lee Waters said that they don't know what they're doing with the economy, Plaid should have washed their hands with Labour. They should have said, we don't want nothing to do with you. But yet, you get straight back into bed with them in 2021. And when I made an intervention to your party leader, he said he couldn't rule out doing a deal with Labour in the future. So it goes to show that, you vote Plaid, get Labour, and vice versa. And that's why, under the Welsh Conservatives, Wales would be open for business and would kick-start the Welsh economy. So in closing, Deputy Llywydd, I would like to urge members to vote with our motion, and if the Welsh Government takes anything away from this debate, I hope that it is the harmful consequences that are about to befall North Wales from the toxic tourist tax, which I urge them to scrap before it's implemented.
And I call on the Cabinet Secretary for Economy, Energy and Planning, Rebecca Evans.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak in this debate, and it really does give me a chance to be very clear about how this Welsh